is because you remember clearly when Jubilee was Jubilee and when Uhuru Kenyatta was at the helm, and you remember the kind of medicine they used to make the current president drink. And I was amused to find that the former president, a man of his caliber, cannot even get a venue to hold the NDC. It made me realize that
the picked venue was under renovation.
Of course, renovation could mean no manner of things. But you know, it tells you that power is transient.
Yes.
And it tells you that when you're controlling the instruments of state, it is always good to hand olive branches to your perceived nemesis, because tables could turn. And I say this with a lot of tremendous respect to the former president. So let's see how it plays out. Let's see how Jubilee puts its house in order. But as ordinary Kenyans would say, he imeenda.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. Mr. Kigoli, just before I cross over to you, I just want us to run that particular story now, because essentially it gives us what both sides think about the Jubilee party in a whole. Let's take a look, and then after that we come back and get your introductory statement, Mr. Kigoli.
As things continues to go south in the former ruling party of Jubilee, questions continue arising concerning the fate of the planned Monday's National Delegate Conference, as both Kanini Kega Sabina Chege's team engage Uhuru Kenyatta's and Jeremiah Kioni's team in a war of words. Speaking in Isiolo County, where Kega team accompanied President William Ruto in a church service, the Jubilee leaders directed their attacks to the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, accusing him of refusing to retire from politics.
Na tumeshikilia chama, na ningetaka kukuhakikishia kwamba ile chama uliacha, hata kama ilikuwa karibu ishe, sisi na kina Kanini na kina Keinan tunajaribu kufufua, na gavana hapa na seneta wa hapa, na unaona vile seneta pale amefurushwa kwa bunge kwa wale ambao tulikuwa tumeenda kwao. Sasa sisi tumekuwa watoto mayatima, na tumekuja kukuomba kwa heshima, tukipiga ile mlango yako unatukaribisha.
Mimi ningeomba kwa heshima sana aliyekuwa rais wa 4 wa Jamhuri ya Kenya aachane na siasa, ashirikiane na mheshimiwa rais, tupeleke taifa letu mbele. Asanteni sana.
Kega and Sabina Chege stated that they are in charge of the Jubilee Party, claiming that Monday's NDC is not official, claiming that it will be just like any other political gathering.
Kwa sababu kuna wengine wanasema kesho kutakuwa na mkutano wa NDC. Nataka nitangaze nikiwa katibu mkuu wa chama cha Jubilee, kesho hakuna mkutano wa NDC. Tutaitana mkutano wa NDC wakati utafaa.
The other Kenya Kwanza politicians in a rejoinder asked Kenyatta to retire from politics and leave Jubilee Party leadership to Kega and Chege.
We have had several presidents who have retired in Kenya. We saw President Moi retired. And when President Moi retired, he respected the will of the people of Kenya, na yeye akauga mkono yule amechaguliwa. We also saw our former president, President Mwai Kibaki. He also alituonyesha example that when you retire, ni vizuri una support yule amechaguliwa.
Ati kesho uko na NDC, wajumbe wako wote hawako yo NDC. Gavana ule pekee ni huyu wa Isiolo hayuko. Senators hawako. Sasa unaenda ku address wakora, anda unawaita chama ya Jubilee.
This comes as Uhuru Kenyatta and Jeremiah Kioni have already finalized preparations for the Monday's NDC. Shadrack Kareria, Look Up TV.
Pretty much. That's where we are then. Mr. Kigoli, I just want you to jump in with your sentiments as well. You can hear Kanini Kega saying, well, please, retired president, stop whatever it is that you're doing and join the president in whatever is trying to achieve in the country. Should that be the position of the president now, Mr. Kigoli?
Thank you very much. And in the other or previous interview that I held, I said that in this country we tend to overdo things. Look at the largest democracy in the world, that is the United States of America.
Yes.
After the retirement of President Barack Obama, he never left the political arena. He kept on drumming support for his Democratic Party. He drummed up support for Hillary Clinton. He also drummed up support for Joe Biden, President Joe Biden. And I think President Uhuru Kenyatta retired well too early. Look, he still has so much energy. He still has so much politics in him that he wants to unleash, he wants to unload and display his political strength out there. And I do not see any problems with him participating in active politics or in politics as he is participating, because much as he's a retired president, he still has political rights guaranteed to him in our constitution, and more specifically under Chapter 4 of the Kenyan Constitution. Much as we have the Presidential Retirement Act that,
yes,
of course, bars the president from, participating in these matters, I think this act needs to be re-examined. It needs to be amended so that much as he cannot run, but he's still free to engage in the political beliefs that he might consider. Because Kanini Kega is speaking so because he has a partisan interest. He has an interest in taking over Jubilee's leadership structure.
Yes.
And this is enabling him to make such statements. And Kanini Kega is one of the people who President Uhuru Kenyatta had trusted as his lieutenant. And Jeremiah Kioni was saying that President Uhuru Kenyatta funded Kanini Kega's electoral bid. And I cannot dispute that, much as I cannot confirm. But indications are he must have benefited in one way or another,
yes,
given that, first of all, he is a nominated Yala member of parliament. And secondly, he has been in the structures that were running the Azimio campaigns. And this tells you about the lack of ethos or ethics in our political arena. We are not guided by values and principles and ideologies, but by what works for the moment. And the late President Nelson Mandela said that if you shift your mind depending on who you're dealing with, you're not worthy of leading a nation. So for someone like Kanini Kega, who cannot independently display his mind and his decisions, because clearly him and Sabina Chege are dancing to the tunes of the ruling coalition.
Yes.
And this does not reflect very well on the leadership decision making, because what has informed the sudden change of position right from Azimio to Jubilee? Is it just because Azimio lost according to the IEBC and the confirmation of the Supreme Court, or is it that they realized that Kenya Kwanza has the best policies, has the best agenda, the best roadmap for this country? And the answer, your guess could be as good as mine, all right? So if these leaders are moved and dictated by principles, values, ethos that govern, especially when you look at Article 10 of the Kenyan Constitution, I expect the least of them,
yes,
to be doing what they are doing, because it is not expected of a leader, to act just normally. Let them display independence of mind. Let them come out and say, yes, we have re-examined our position and are finally considering to work with X political party. Look at what Sabina Chege is saying, that she's appealing that they are orphans, and when they come knocking, they should be admitted. I mean, that is a pessimistic kind of thinking from a nominated leader, because we do not expect something of the sort. Now, if they call themselves political orphans, I mean, when did their political parents die, all right? So they have been rebellious to their political parents. They have been rebellious to their political sponsoring party. Now, you don't kill your parent and then start to call yourself an orphan. That cannot apply. Before God and man,
yes,
that is sinful, that is wrong, that is unacceptable, all right? So if they mean what they do, let them first of all resign from the sponsoring party to their nominated positions. Mm-hmm. Let them now advance a course independent of Jubilee. Let them find their own political party if they believe they have the political strength and the muscle to pull these things off, all right? Because this party must have been formed out of the sacrifice of one or two individuals, and I know it is not Sabina Chege's sacrifice, it is not Kanini Kega's sacrifice, it is somebody else's sacrifice, all right? So if they believe in themselves, first of all, when you are true to cause, resign from the sponsoring party, seek a fresh mandate of your own, and then let us believe in what you pretend to be believing in. But right now, what Kanini Kega and Sabina Chege are doing is to advance political expediency, is to advance political myopia, is to advance a political cause that does not inspire anything, does not inspire greatness, does not inspire vision, does not inspire a good, well-reasoned out path to either political success,
yes,
or anything of that sort.
Pretty much. Mr. Kigoli, I'll be coming back to you. Mr. Mungai,